Hi guys, and welcome to the first episode of Ars Magica with me, Sid, and it's Ars Magica. Yeah, sorry. Right, this is going to be our Thursday episode. I am going to adjust my sounds because I don't think they have been adjusted for recording. 25, music off, done, and back. Okay, so unlike other LP series which I've done, I am not starting this from spawn. Purely and simply because if you've seen one person punch a tree, you've seen them all punch a tree. Pardon me, beer repeating. So this is Minecraft 1.64, we have Ars Magica installed, we have not enough items installed, Zan's minimap, and Tinker's Construct, just the basic Tinker's Construct, mainly because I love Tinker's Construct and I really don't want to be without those lovely Tinker's Construct tools. Come here, get back here. Alright, so what are you down there, what are you down there? What you down there? Right. So I've got myself set up a little bit. Oh man, I'm magic farmed. I'm right clicking to harvest, which is not going to work, is it? So this is my little hobo base. This is where I've started. I got myself set up with the basics of making paper, of making food, getting wood, yada yada, and this is where we're going to start our quest into the definitely zombies around here somewhere. I just don't know where. There's a whole load of caves in this cliff. This cliff is riddled. Anyway, let me just give you a quick tour of what we've done so far. I've already looted that temple. I've never seen a temple spawn in the middle of a mountain before, which was quite interesting. And I've had a scout around, and over that way, about 300 meters, is a big hill, which I think is where I'm going to construct my wizardly tower. Now, I've got my usual bits and pieces, bits of TNT, a few bits of sword, leather, food, witchwood, and then this is my minerals and stuff from mining, and found a horse armor, something called an infinity orb, about 18 diamonds. Diamonds seem really rare, actually, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to use Tinker's Constructs. I want to avoid having to go down the route of of using lots of diamond tools. Lots of coal, chimerite, blue topaz, all sorts of good stuff there. So the first thing we are going to need to do is we're going to need to embark upon. Have I got some of these sticks pre-made? Yeah, they're in my inventory. I need a leather. We're going to have to embark on the quest of magic. Now, that's not right. Need that and that to do this. Down there, that's my strip mine. Goes all the way down to Y12. Nothing particularly interesting to see down there. But what we need to do, and what we need to see, is out in the world. Because at the moment, I am just an ordinary mortal. I have no affinity or affinity for magic whatsoever. And this is something I need to learn. And the way you start on that, incidentally, these are quite cool. Look at these guys. They have this kind of weird little, stressed out Enderman. So the way you do that is you'll find scattered around the world, deserts are quite common. I think there's 2 or 3 over this way, and that looks like it may be one over there. These little pools of water. In most of the time they spawn in a 2x2, but you will find some larger ones. There's a section over that way I've seen where there's loads. This landscape is glorious, and you'll see these, and you can tell it's different because it's kind of a glowy blue. And what we're going to need to do is, next to this pool of water, just has to be around it, we're going to stick an item frame on here, and you need a book. You'll whack the book in the item frame and then watch those particles do their magic. So this book is soaking up magic from this enchanted water pool. And eventually, once it's soaked up enough, we keep saying eventually, it should, yep, there we go, undergo a transformation and fall in the bloody pool. Now these pools are also useful later in the game, but this will give you your Arcane Compendium. Now I'm going to go back to where we're safe before we do it, and you'll notice straight away I've got a couple of things have appeared on my screen. There's a little like red bar next to the side there, next to my sword. That's my burnout meter, and on the other side there's my mana meter. I am a level 1 wizard, as indicated by the blue one above my current Minecraft levels, which just goes to show you how easy normal Minecraft experience is to get. Actually, all I've really done is mined and killed a couple of zombies, and I'm already level 31, so yeah, it's a bit silly, really. Right, so in here, well, into the safety of my hobo hole. You got a little bit. The book is self-updating, so you've got forward, a bit about using the compendium as you set up to unlock entries as you get them, blah blah blah. If you prefer not to have this, you can do categories where new entries will shimmer, and new entries themselves will have a crescent moon marking them. If you prefer not to have this, you can disable it in the config by changing stage, blah blah blah. And you'll find that interlinking any item with green text can be clicked and you will jump to the entry for that item. So, pretty cool. Ars Magica UI tells you all about that and how to change the user interface. AMUICFG will open a drag and drop interface to make changes. Pardon me. And then you press escape to save them. So I'm just going to pause for a second here and go and have a nose blow. Back in a moment. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so your first spell. Now, the spellbook only unlocks the basics, so you first need to craft an oculus. Sorry, excuse me, get my microphone adjusted. And then you need to unlock at least one spell, shape, and one component. And you start with 3 skill points to do that. So, oculus. That's our first target. Oculus. Come on, you're in there. So there you go. Oh, double C. So to do that, we're going to need some smooth stone, glass. Blue topaz got that coal, so I need to go and smelt some stone and some glass, make some glass up. Because I don't. Well, I've got one of those. That's fine. Let's take that iron out. Let's whack that in. Put that away for now. Once that's finished, I'll stick 4 of those in. That'll make me the smooth stone, and we will have our oculus. Bonk, that's in, off we go. So, I've got Tinker's Construct now, haven't I? Yes. I didn't start with Tinker's Construct installed, hence why that is a crafting bench and not a crafting station. Actually, setting up this mod pack was a doddle to build my own. I just used the Feed the Beast launcher to take most of the mod packs because they'd already been established as compatible, and built my own using that, which was nice and easy. I knew they'd work, so 3 of those. Oh, I need 4 because I need to turn them into stone brick. Stone brick, please. Okay. Stone brick. Stone brick. Glass. One of them. And 2 of them and 1 of them, please. Okay, that's our oculus, which we'll just put down here for the time being. And when we right click on that, this brings up this GUI which shows us our offensive spells, defensive spells, utility, and you can see we've got 3 unlocks available in the blue category. These are blue. As you move down the tree, they go to green and then eventually to red, and you get those as you level up as a mage. So, the one we're going to probably go for to start off with is we're going to go for a projectile spell. So, that's the only thing we can do. We got the defensive, we could do self. I'm going to do projectile to start off with. We can then say you want to be affected by gravity, that's a modifier. We can have bounce, so we can bounce shots around corner, also a modifier. But I want them to do physical damage. And then over here we've got magical damage or fire damage. So I'm going to go with magic damage. So I'm going to get a magic, what would be in the old Dungeons and Dragons game, a magic missile. Now this hasn't given me the spell. First thing. What this has given me is the capability to learn the spell. And if I go into my book, we'll see that I've got where are we? Guide, mechanics, items, blocks. I'm not seeing the shapes on this one. So this tells you all about mechanics, the burnout. Burnout basically, the more you cast, the more things cost until it becomes unusable, and you have to let it burn down again, come down again. You can do casting modes in 3 levels, so diminished, normal, and augmented. Uses more mana. Blah blah blah. The magic levels is strength, so your mana goes out and your burnout capability. Mana itself, that goes up. That's what you cast your spells. You've got silver skills, which are inside the oculus but cannot be obtained in normal ways. You need to correct a spell combination, which I'm sure we'll come to. Spell creation tells us how we need to do it. So first you need to get the spell parts using the oculus. The next thing we need is an inscription table. We then need to make a blank rune. The inscription table, blah blah blah, and then we need to go to the lectern of your crafting altar. So right, let's get an inscription table built. That's my next mission. Inscription table, bang. So for that we need a torch, a feather, some wood, and a spell parchment. These you'll use a lot. That's sticks and paper. So I've got the makings of paper. I've got me sticks. I've got some wood, so we'll bang that through. We'll make some slabs. So I've got that. I need a torch and a chucky feather. And if I was right, that was something like this. And I think it was feather and torch. Gives us our inscription table. Now this is, to be fair, an absolutely cool looking piece of block. I mean, I wish Minecraft stuff could have things that look, generic Minecraft had things that look this great. So we're going to need a written book. I did find a village, so I've got some ink, I've got a feather, and I've got some books, which we can just do in here, can't we? Bonk, 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 written book, and we right click on there, stick in our written book, and what we are going to do is we're going to create a projectile spell, which we just drag down here. It is magical damage. I'm not going to do, I'm going to do physical damage. And we're going to call this Magic Missile, after my good old D&D games. And now we have Magic Missile, the book. And that tells us a bit about what we're going to need. Blank rune, Vintium dust, arrow, snowball, red rune, iron sword, and a spell parchment. Well, we can manage all of those. I'm going to have to go around and collect them a bit. But before we can do that, we now have various things unlocked. So we've got items, blocks, modifiers, and structures. And in structures, we've got a crafting altar. A crafting altar is a multi-block structure. and we can make it from a range of things. Will give us +1 effect for the blocks. You can just show the bottom layer, so 1 layer, 2 layer, 3, 4, as you go like that. I'll show you the whole lot. Depending on what we put on it will allow us to have more effects. So if I were to use bricks, for example, I will get +2, witchwood would be +3, nether bricks would be +3, and nether quartz would be +3. Now, I'm wondering how many blocks I need. Then we've got these caps. You can see the diamond blocks are there and in there. The caps also add on to it, so we can go for redstone, iron blocks, lapis blocks, gold blocks, diamond blocks, so on and so forth, and they're cumulative. So the more expensive the structure is, the more effects it can have. So let's see, do we think, what time is it? Is it still daytime? I've got some witchwood, but I don't think I'm going to have anywhere near enough to do that. So I think I'm going to have to go with stone brick, which at the moment is my limit. So we'll grab that lot, we'll cook up a stack of that. That should be fine. I think I've got enough redstone to make a few redstone blocks. Yeah, that's more than adequate. Now the other thing we're going to need in there to make this is a lectern, which is 3 and 1. That's simple. In fact, I've got that in my inventory right now. Lectern. We need a lever, believe it or not. A lever. And then we need a, if I can get myself, a crafting altar, which is Vintium dust on smooth stone. And Vintium dust is made by smelting Vintium ore. So this is going to take a while. In fact, I'm going to even go as far as to, I don't think I've got much more cobble up here. I'm going to have to go down to the mine to get it. But I shall have 2 more furnaces to speed the process up a bit. Some more coal. Let's split that 2 ways. We'll split that out. Put that in there. And I've got some Vintium ore. We'll just do some of that for now. So that can go in. Right, so now it's a waiting game for this lot to smelt. In fact, I can take those. And once I've got one of those, I can take that. And that gives me my crafting altar. So the only thing I need now is the smooth stone bricks. And for that, we're going to be waiting. So I'll be back once we're there. Okay, I think we're there. There is one more thing we need to make, however, which is magic walls. I'm going to need this Vintium dust and stone. It's quite cheap. It's actually quite pretty as well. You can use it for normal building, should you wish. You get 16 of those. Let me just stick that away. And I've made a start on the structure, just to get this underway and not be too long watching me jumping up and balking things up. So we've got them baby zombies. I always have to look around when I hear one. We've got the basic structure, which is a 5x5 of stone bricks, hole in the middle, 3 either side there, and 1 solid block there. With then, that sounded very close. We need one of those, one of those. I may need to make some more of this. And then we need to go like, yes, I will need to make some more, because I'm going to be about 4 short. Okay, now the other thing, well, we'll go and set that cooking. So I've got 20 cobble in my inventory, so that will be enough, I hope. Whee! And while we're doing that, we'll put the rest of the stuff in place. Okay, cook cobble. Eat chicken. Oops. Derp. Oh, hang on, no, have I? I have cocked up slightly. I might be underestimating or overestimating what we need. So I don't need that one. And I don't need that one. Which means I only need... Oh, you just knew that was going to happen, didn't you? That one. Nope, we're fine. And that one. I'm going to take our magic wall, and we're going to place that here, here, and here. Now, how cool is that? Solid block. That's better than windows. Maybe my windows in my mage tower. So, put in our magic block. We've got our caps there, 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 and there, and one there. Stick our lectern here, bonk, and our lever here on the opposite side. And finally, last but not least, that is our Mage's crafting thing. So this is now built. Now, looking at what we needed, we need blank rune, Vintium dust, arrow. I need to craft an arrow. Need to create that, need to make that, need to make that, need to make that, and need to make one of those. So let's go get those together quickly. And then we'll go and try out our first spell. Our magic missile. Well, we'll make our magic missile. So, first thing on the list, let's have a look. Blank rune. Okay. So, blank rune, and you're going to need loads of runes anyway, but if I put in rune and go for blank rune, it's cobble in that structure. And, of course, I nearly smelted it all. That gives me 2, which is enough for now. So that gives you a blank rune. So there's my first item off the list. Let me get rid of some of this crap out of my inventory. It'll make life a bit easier, I'm sure. Bonk, 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 bonk. You can go through there, you can go up there. I will need a snowball. I don't need seeds. Right, so we've got blank rune. Vintium dust. Oh god, Vintium dust and an arrow. So Vintium dust is the next item. Arrow, I need a feather. And please tell me please tell me I've got some flint here. Yes. Otherwise I was going to be going down to the mine. That's right, isn't it? I honestly can't... Arrows... No, of course it's not right. Tell how often I craft arrows. I tend to take them from snowball, red rune. Okay, so then it's a snowball, then it's a red rune, and that is rose red and a blank rune. And I did, there we go, got those. Blank rune, bang, red rune, done. Iron sword. Put some iron somewhere. Iron sword. I also do want a piece of paper for the last item, while I remember. So, iron sword. And a spell parchment. So that's everything we need to make our spell. And this is a simple spell. Other ones have much longer lists of components, more expensive components. The more damaging they get, the more powerful the spell, the more expensive it is. Kind of makes sense. So, put our spell book onto there, and it will start the process off with a blank rune. And you'll see that's doing stuff now. There's like this particle effect, and it's now telling me what the next component is, the Vintium dust. It then wants the arrow, snowball, the red rune, the iron sword, and finally the spell parchment. And that has told me that I've got a new achievement unlocked, and you can see my hand's got this weird little particle effect, and I got my spell. So if I right click on that, it's going to ask me for a name, if I can change it if I didn't at this point, and I want to give it a magic missile-y type icon. I don't know what, it needs to be fairly small, it's a fairly minuscule little spell. I'm going to go for that one, because that looks like a little zappy thing. And I got my spell. Now I need to find something to shoot. There was a sheep around over here. Hey sheep, help us with, this is not science, help us with magic. And I'm now level 2. Whee! Level 5. You level really quickly early on. I'm just going to go and sleep quickly, and we'll finish killing this sheep off in the morning. And we'll see what other things we've unlocked. And what other things we can do. So we could make a fire spell, for example, which would be fairly straightforward. Let's just jump in here. So that's it. I'm officially a wizard. I've got a spell. Right, sheep, where were we? Now, killing passive mobs, you don't get as much information. If you hover over that, it'll tell you it costs 22.5 to cast mana. So, not the most. Gotcha. Killed him. And you can, if I cast this, and you can see that the red bar is going down. The cost of the spell is going down. The cost of the spell went up. The more I cast it, the more I spam it. And we're now back to normal. Burn out. My mana is slowly increasing. And filling back up again. So that's it. That's the first spell. We can make more spells. We can do these all we like. You have got a huge... If we look over here, we've now got gaining magic levels. Spell components 101 tells you about the shapes, components, and modifiers. Blah, blah, blah. And gaining magic levels, basically, as you go up, you'll increase in levels, obtaining skill points. You get skill points at each even level. You will gain 1 skill point. Levels 2 to 20 award blue, 22 to 40 green, and 42 to 50 red. You can also fight bosses, trade with villagers, and exploring. Yeah. Essence system. There are essences, which we'll do next episode. And next side, 3 types of nexuses: light, dark, and neutral. Yeah, that's it. Now, if we look at our shapes. Projectile will show you the items you always need if you want a projectile spell. Self would require a orm, which is a plant, a lesser focus, and a Vintium dust. Touch is those. We've got the fire damage will require a red rune, a flint and steel, and Vintium dust, and so on. Drown. Create water directly inside the target's lungs, causing them to take drown damage. Oh, that's nasty. I want to do that one. Magic damage differs from physical. It bypasses armor and attacks the target's aura. Makes summoned and charmed creatures especially vulnerable, and physical damage uses those. And frost damage, snowball, blue rune, and those. So as you can probably gather, one of the things I'm going to be doing over the between episodes is collecting dies and all these interesting things you're going to find, like these. I'm going to be collecting Desert Novas, I'm going to be collecting Orms, and everything that's absolutely useful. I'll get green dye, red dye, yellow dye, blue dye, black dye, get the whole lot. So, until next time, I'm going to continue exploring. I may build a couple more basic spells between episodes, who knows. And I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a like, and I'll see you again next week.